Hello, and welcome to the Oregon Files podcast. First, a little introduction about today's interview. Today we're interviewing Jake Tranter, the owner of Spiderking Studios, the first movie studio opened here in Roseburg. Spiderking Studios is not just for the wonderful films they make, but they also do commercials, event filming, training videos, weddings, etc. Spiderking Studios would be happy to fulfill whatever video needs that you have. Thank you, and please enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to the Oregon Files podcast. First, our disclaimer. We are novice podcasters simply for entertainment and knowledge. If we misquote or offend, it was not on purpose to do so. Today is a cool day because we have another wonderful interview lined up. But first, my co-host, Elliot Bowman.
Thank you so much, Mark. And hello, everyone. Happy almost 4th of July. Hope it's a safe and enjoyable holiday for everyone, filled with delicious food and beverages. I'm going to be going over to the coast for a few days and get away from the heat and enjoy Bandon. We also like to give a huge thank you to Peggy at the Umpqua Wildlife Rescue, who sat down with us our last interview and talked to us about what she's got going on at the wildlife rescue, all the animals that go through the rehabilitation process and everything. If you haven't heard that episode, please do. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube. We have a website now. It's the OregonFilesPodcast.com. There's merchandise on there if you want sweatshirts, t-shirts, even have mugs if you want a mug and everything. So check it out. Don't make Mark sad and listen to our episodes. So today's show is very, very awesome because Mark and I are we're big fans of movies and theater goers, so we're very, very excited to talk to Jake Tranter. Gosh, I practiced that in my head and I just slaughtered that. He comes to us from Spiderking Studios. You're the creative director, the owner-operator?
Owner and founder.
Owner or founder. Awesome, man. We're super delighted for you to stop in with us because I know you're, like we said before we got on here, dude, you're all over the place. News reviewing, we see you everywhere. So even coming in here, we told the librarian, Chris, that we're having you in here, and she was like, yeah, they're all over the place. So we're super excited to get to know you a little bit and Spiderking Studio and everything involved and talking about movies. And we'll nerd out for about an hour or so and get to know everything about you. Did you grow up in Roseburg?
Yeah, I moved up here when I was about 8 years old. But originally, I was born in Southern California, Joshua Tree.
So was I, Covina. So look at that.
Nice.
That's another transplant from SoCal. I love it.
Yeah, no, I went between Joshua Tree and Morongo Valley, Yucca Valley, kind of that area. Yeah, no, I spent most of my life up here in the Roseburg area.
Nice. And I saw somewhere that you eventually went into the service. Is that right?
Yep. Right after high school, joined the Army and put in about 4 years before I was medically discharged because of injury that happened to me while in service. Yeah.
Got it. My daughter just went through Air Force boot camp.
Nice.
And now she's going to tech school, and she just found out she's going to be stationed in New Mexico. So she's kind of excited because she wanted to get like a nuke base out of the way. I guess you have to guard a nuke base or something to be in the Air Force. I don't know, but she's excited to at least leave Texas because she's been there since April, and she'll be there until end of September. So
hopefully it'll be a little less hot.
Yeah, she's going from humid hot to dry hot. So yeah, we went there a couple weeks ago. Man, like 80 degrees at 4 in the morning. It was like 70 degrees. It was just disgusting hot. It was nasty out. But gosh, so when you were growing up, were you a big movie fan, big theater goer, and watch a lot of movies growing up?
Yeah, I have early memories of like drive-in movie theaters with my parents down in SoCal. And one of the first movies I remember watching in a drive-in movie theater was Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I'm 23 years old, so drive-in movie theaters were kind of going out as I was experiencing the last little bit of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really into movies. I always kind of wanted to be an actor when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
I did theater and all sorts of that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you do like high school theater?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So is that the first movie that you remember seeing as a kid? Is Spider-Man 3? Or do you remember like the first movie you remember seeing like in theater?
I don't remember the first movie I saw in theaters, but I'm pretty sure my earliest memory of a movie was probably Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which makes sense.
Right? Very memorable.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's kind of left like an impression on you, because from the movies I've seen you've made, it's kind of similar styles. Yeah.
Which Dawn of the Dead, though? We're talking the remake, right? The one that was in the mall? Or
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
I love Dawn of the Dead.
Very good remake, yeah.
And I'm just going to say Shaun of the Dead's pretty good too.
Shaun of the Dead.
I love Simon Pegg. Do you remember the first movie you saw in theater?
Yes, it was Oliver and Company, the animated Disney movie.
The cat.
Explains why I have such a fondness for animals.
Yeah. I think mine was Land Before Time.
Oh.
I think that was the first movie I saw in theater. And I remember standing up on a chair and my foot got stuck in the back of the chair and panicking. I think I was like 5 or 6. Probably wasn't paying attention to the movie very much.
Oh, funny.
But so you went from growing up seeing movies and then moving to Roseburg in Oregon. How did the idea to kind of starting your own movie studio, your own movie company, Spiderking Studios?
I had some really good support from friends who also were kind of creative alongside me. And we all sort of wanted to be a part of this performing arts thing. We couldn't quite figure out what we wanted to do. Like I said, I was like into being an actor and everything. In high school, there was this opportunity that came up called the Up to Us Now Youth Media Projects. And it was something that Mercy Foundation, with their sub-program, the Child Abuse Coalition, put on. And basically the idea is that they allowed youth from all around Douglas County to come together and talk about issues in the community that they wanted to bring awareness to. So they'd write these PSAs. This production company would come down from Portland and film the whole thing. It would be put on national news. And just being a part of that, seeing the camera work and everything just made me kind of fall in love with filmmaking.
Sure.
So that's what got me into film in particular. And so right after that same summer is when I made my first short film, Dead Man Walking. And so that same group of friends was a part of that. And I mean, like I said, Dawn of the Dead inspired, you know. Right. And it's really cool because it's now come full circle. And we are the production company for that same program now.
And you're based in Roseburg, Oregon.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. And I've read some other organizations that you're part of as well. You work causes such as the Human Trafficking Coalition, Battered Persons Advocacy, Up to Us Now, and then Youth Media Projects and more, right?
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. Gosh. So you did your first short film. And then after that, was it like, I think we kind of have something here? Or
after the short film itself, I think the passion for the craft really spawned. We got a lot of support. I mean, you know, it's a 42-minute movie that I shot and edited on an iPhone.
All right.
Seeing it in like a high school theater, like the Rose Theater at Roseburg High School, having everybody's family come, it was like, okay, seeing the reactions, you know, the gore and everything.
Right.
It was a lot of fun, but it did take a while to kind of get to the next steps because, you know, I was 17 at the time and I, at that moment, didn't really see filmmaking as a viable career option, you know? And so I did what I thought was right with the family traditions and everything. And I joined the military. You know, I was really badly injured and that's what got me medically discharged. But because of that, I've had the time and the resources to really devote myself to what I'm actually passionate about. And so it was 2019 that I started the first stages of what was going to be my first film called Westwood. And a lot of people who are still on the team to this day are from that project, but it never saw the light of day because COVID happened, like right in the middle of the project. And so main actor ran for the hills. And, you know, it was our first feature film. We just kind of put it on the back burner and I still have some of that footage. Maybe I'll piece a little bit of it together, but it's just incomplete. The following year in 2020, when I decided, you know what, I'm going to work with what I have and piece something together. And so that's when our first actually released film, Limbo, came out.
Yeah.
and that's the psychological horror. I'd say it was a success. I mean, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Since then, we've just kind of been on a roll.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of it's a Kathy Bates movie with a writer.
Misery? Or
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Do you take inspiration from, pieces of your life or?
I mean, in general, inspiration comes from a lot of different neural pathways. But
Right.
for that movie in particular, yeah, it was just like I was dealing with a lot of mental stuff back then. The isolation from COVID, I wanted to kind of personify that in a work of art. If at all possible, somebody's
Sure.
working on a story, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who might want to see the movie, but at the end there's like this big twist and things aren't what it seems. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to encapsulate
Sure.
the things that I was feeling at the time, and I had some help with my buddy Jacob to co-write that movie too. But I do that a lot with my movies, kind of just put things that I feel or things in the current situation of how I'm living, and I kind of manifest that through art.
I think that sums up art. I mean,
Yeah.
therapeutic,
right,
yeah.
right, exactly. Expression through what you're going with and feeling and everything. So another movie or a film that I know was Trial by Fire. I feel like that probably hits pretty close to home with being in the service and going through that story. And I think you call it emotional roller coaster. What was that like making that film?
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of things that didn't go as planned, and there was a lot of things that turned out absolutely beautifully. The whole process was a really good, if you want to talk about art as an expression, I mean, that's like the whole point of the movie.
Sure.
It deals with PTSD, and that's something I deal with on a personal level from my time in service. And so being able to express that through what I love to do was amazing. And having other like-minded individuals on a project like that really helped a lot too. But there were some difficult moments in the process. Drudging up a lot of that internal stuff can be difficult.
Right.
And the night before the first day on set, my mom also passed away.
Oh, dude.
And so it was a lot,
man.
but I still went through with the process, and we had a lot of meaty emotional scenes starting off with. So it certainly helped, because me personally, with my acting style, I have to draw from real emotions to really sell it. Not saying it was a good thing, but
Sure. Right. I was going to ask, I mean, not using the word easier, but like it almost kind of helps to write or be part of production, be part of like that process when you are kind of so close to home to something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, well, I'm sorry to hear about your mom.
Yeah. No, it was a very unfortunate thing. And, and my mom and I always had kind of an alienated relationship. And so I'm sure that will be explored at some point too. But,
there you go. That's right. The title of the movie, Alienated, right? There you go.
I mean, is it easier? What genre do you prefer to work with? Horror or drama or comedy, or is there one that you enjoy working with the most?
Yeah, that's difficult because I think different genres do different things for me. I mean, a good heartfelt drama is really nice because you get to really explore deep human emotion and connection and things like that, and really work with dialogue that, quote, matters, as opposed to some lines that I put in juvenile or slasher. But there's also something to be said about just like a fun project, though.
Right.
Like working on a really gory, bloody slasher film. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Throwing blood everywhere.
Right. When you're doing the comedy, do you write it to where you're trying to make yourself laugh, or you try to think like what other people would find funny?
Yeah, well, I mean, on the subject of comedies, we Kill a Roommate.
Yes.
That we just wrapped up on. And so that process was it was new because we never worked on a comedy before. There's comedic elements in other films that we've done, but not a specific comedy film itself. It was kind of new territory, and it was supposed to be this in-between project, but it was a demon of its own. We joke around in the studio saying it's the cursed project because it just, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong with this film, but it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, when you're writing something like that, at least for me, I draw from my own humor, you know, because I just think that makes the most sense. You write what you know.
Sure.
But I did a lot of checking with other people, you know, like, hey, is this going too far? You know, because that movie, it kind of steps over some boundaries. But acting on it, though, because I also act in the film.
Yeah.
There were definitely some retakes and having to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
But I play such an absurd character that, you know, it was easy enough for me to kind of hone it in. But, you know, for other people who aren't used to not only being in front of the camera itself with that pressure, but also having to do some really crazy stuff. We had some funny outtakes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is Killer Roommate out now?
No, it's going to be released at Roseburg Cinema here pretty soon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Do you know how soon? Date yet? Or
Yeah, we are shooting for July 12th.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming
right around this.
And then we have some plans with showing at other locations as well. Yeah, I just have to square away some more stuff with the cinema, but we're pretty much locked in. Yeah.
Wow. And
cool.
excuse me for my naivety, whatever that word is. Is that the first movie you've shown at the Roseburg Cinema?
Not the first.
Yeah.
We showed our second film, Death with Dignity. There too.
Okay.
And we originally scheduled for one weekend, but it completely sold out.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, okay, let's do a second weekend. And that second weekend sold out too.
Wow.
So it was a really, really good experience. I think, unfortunately, this time we're only going to do one premiere there.
Okay.
Just because of the pricing there. You know, we're kind of on more of a tight budget, and we just kind of want to move on to the next projects because, like I was mentioning earlier, Killer Roommate kind of dragged on.
Right.
But we also want to get it out there and
Yeah.
have people admire the film. And
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Man, that has got to be such a cool freaking feeling
Yeah.
to have people go see your movie, sit there on a big screen and watch that.
yeah, no, I mean, just the cast party alone,
Yeah.
having all of the people who worked on the project be able to
Right.
see it come to fruition, see their hard work,
Yeah.
but also laugh. I mean,
Right.
it's a 2.5 hour long movie, and it was just nonstop laughter.
Right.
I mean, I think it really worked.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, for our listeners right now, the trailer is out for
Right.
Killer
Yeah,
Roommate.
and a new one
Yes.
will be out soon.
Oh
A
wow.
new trailer will be out soon.
Cool.
too.
Very cool.
And I'll mention this again, but if you do want to watch trailers, movies, everything Spiderking Studios, you can go to spiderkingstudios.com. They're also on Facebook, Spiderking Studios. You check everything out they have going on. I saw you got merch. You can
YouTube's got some of the videos too.
right. DVDs you can purchase, and then I saw you also have auditions coming up, or you're auditioning right now as well too.
Yeah.
For Mayhem in the Shadows?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayhem in the Shadows. You know, if some people didn't know about it and they wanted to still be a part of the project, especially as far as crew goes, we'll accept. But yesterday was actually the cutoff for Mayhem.
Okay.
But we have auditions all the time, you know, so if anybody wants to go to our website, we're also on all of the social media platforms. So if you just kind of tune in to what we're doing, you'll always see opportunities to be a part of cast, crew, whatever.
Sometimes you need the crew just as much as the cast. 'Cause there's a lot to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So Mayhem in the Shadows. Mayhem, a disgruntled veteran turned vigilante, targets those who evade justice. By night, he hunts down and kills criminals who believe they are untouchable. His target is Jack, a domestic abuser. As Mayhem stalks Jack, preparing for the perfect moment to strike, he uncovers a deeper web of cruelty and deceit. Mayhem in the Shadows culminates in brutal showdown where justice and vengeance collide, and only one will emerge from the shadows. I mean, I'm in.
Right? Sounds good.
That sounds
like stuff
awesome,
I watched
man.
already.
You're right?
Yeah. It's going to be a fun project.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who wrote it. Bob Wayne is the name of the writer.
Okay.
And it's actually based on a novel, which is on Amazon,
called
called Mayhem in the Shadows.
Oh, wow.
Also another novel of the same series, Mayhem, The Retribution. So you can go up there. He's looking for some first-time readers. Really cool stories there.
Yeah. How far ahead do you know that your movies are going to be like on the Roseburg Cinema?
It's just really talking to the staff there. A lot of the time it's just coordinating so we're not releasing right when they're doing a big crazy release of a movie or anything like that. You know, it's just a private showing, just like anything else. Say somebody books the cinema to watch a movie, then they're already showing. The only difference we're doing is showing our own movie and then selling our own tickets through a third party. It's not too difficult.
Is there a project or is there a story or anything that you haven't uncovered yet, or a movie that you want to do about?
There are a lot of projects that I would really love to work on.
Sure.
There's also a pretty extensive cinematic universe I have in the works too.
Nice.
Wanting to get started on once we have, you know, the means and the budget and everything like that. I think more in the near future, something I would love to do is something historic. I've been wanting to work on a Roseburg Blast project.
Okay.
Ooh, there you go.
Like a narrative story of the events of the Roseburg Blast.
Sure.
And everything that happened there.
Yeah. You write and you direct and act in some of your films?
Yep.
Is that tough to direct and be in it?
It can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some good friends on board who really help with the process. So, you know, we kind of bounce off of each other.
Sure.
So it's not as difficult as it was in the past. But yeah, it still does have its challenges, especially when, you know, I have a specific vision.
Sure.
And, you know, you have to translate that somehow to another person that's helping you direct.
Got it. Yeah. So you opened up a studio recently. I don't know where it's at.
Downtown, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Downtown.
Yep, it's on Stevens, Southeast Stevens.
Awesome. So now it allows you to kind of put out bigger projects, and
yes,
you got a bigger space to work with, and I'm sure that's probably nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a really, really good step in the right direction. I'd say. You know, just these past couple of years, we've been operating out of just like an office, essentially, you know, in the Gene Bechtel School for Music, and you know, them letting me use an office there has been a great opportunity. You know, but it was just for me and my desk and a computer. You know, it wasn't. There was no production space.
Right.
So we'd have to travel around and really think outside the box for our projects. But now, you know, we have a lot more of a controlled environment. We've already built a big green screen in there.
Oh, nice.
Test footage.
Nice.
Here really soon, you'll see the results of that. Some cool test projects that we've been working on.
Oh, cool. How big is the space you're in now?
Right now, around 1,400 square feet.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Or how large is like the Spiderking's studio? Like how many folks kind of help on day-to-day operations and production?
Our current crew, our primary production team, consists of about 5, including myself. And that's people who regularly are working on everything, the decision-making of the studio. You know, we have a social media manager, Taylor Smart. So anything you see on our social media, that's not even me. That's ran by someone else. And we have a short film department supervisor. We have someone running the writing team. And these are all things that we would love to have people become a part of too.
Sure.
So, you know, just reach out to us. We're always looking for more people. But everybody else, you know, we have crew that comes up to a project and works on it and then kind of goes out and then comes back to a different project. And same with actors, you know, they come and go. We're about 5, 6 production team members at the moment.
Nice. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what is kind of the goal or dream? What do you kind of envision for Spiderking Studios?
The big dream of the company for me is to build something bigger than myself. I know that's kind of cliche. I want the studio itself to surpass me and everybody currently involved. And I want it to really become this opportunity here specifically. I've chosen to stay here in Southern Oregon because there's just so much tapped talent. I haven't gone to Hollywood or even up north, mostly because there's just the opportunity isn't what it was before. There's a lot of corruption in the industry, and I want to take a more moral path with this industry and create something new, and maybe even help guide the industry into a new direction. I really think Spiderking Studios can help with that.
I love that.
That was awesome.
Big studio where anybody off the street who's like, I want to act, I want to run camera, they can have that as a legitimate opportunity as opposed to going through a million auditions or, going through some really corrupt channels. I was talking to a producer from Universal Studios, and they were telling me, you should really come to Universal and just climb the ladder. In 10 years, you could direct your first film, and that could be a really cool opportunity for you. And I just thought to myself, I'm already directing my own film.
Right, exactly.
The biggest thing right now is I'm terrible with marketing. I could use some help with marketing, but at least I'm making my own films.
Yeah.
And they'll be seen more and more. They're already being seen more and more by people. But 10 years from now, instead of climbing some ladder and maybe directing a film, and that may be my best shot, 10 years from now, I can hone my current craft and make the studio as a whole better and just create something really great.
I love that. I love people who blaze their own trails. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here's all the suggestions, but then you're like, I'm going to do it the way it's going to work for me. Yeah. I love that.
Something totally different. And, the movie industry needs good guys.
Yeah. Boy, does it ever. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the name Spiderking Studios? Where does Spiderking come from?
When I was a kid, I was really into Spider-Man, as I had mentioned.
I had a feeling because in some of the videos, I see some Spider-Man posters in some of the videos. And I was just like, I wonder. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was, I'm still a big Spider-Man fan.
Heck yeah.
When I got my first Xbox, I tried creating the gamer tag Spider-Man. And of course, it was taken. But one of the suggestions was Spiderking.
Look at that fate stepping in.
I love that.
And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, Spiderking.
Yeah, that works.
So the name has just kind of stuck with me ever since.
Do you have a favorite Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, I definitely have to stick with the Tobey Maguire films. Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Sure.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man 3 gets a little too much hate.
Yeah.
But I respect it.
Have you guys thought or drummed up the idea of doing anything like animated?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right now it's just the resources. Me, I'm learning 3D animation slowly but surely, but it's a whole other thing.
Right.
I edit, I film. It's kind of like the same as people assuming that I'm a photographer as well as a videographer. They're very different.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we want to get into.
Yeah.
Talking about that big dream for the studio down the road, I'd like multiple different departments,
branches,
video games, comic books, 3D animation, 2D animation. We've got big plans for all sorts of that stuff. It's just kind of getting the help we need and getting the resources.
Sure. Animation, I probably would think it's probably more expensive to do too, right?
It's like all software these days, isn't it? It's all pretty much,
Do you have like a favorite director, or I would even say like actor that you would just love to work with?
I would definitely say Sylvester Stallone is a very big influence on our story, but like my inspirations, if I had to pick a favorite movie, it would probably be Rocky.
Okay. I love Rocky.
Yeah. And it's just really inspiring.
Sure.
Rags to riches.
Oh, yeah.
The story of Stallone himself and putting that into his movies. Yeah. But Stallone himself overcoming some of that Hollywood scummery.
Right.
and really paving a path for himself. Yeah. It's just, if I could work with that guy, it would be awesum.
Respect that all day.
That's cool. What is kind of like the audition process like?
No, not too difficult. In the past, we've taken a kind of community theater route with it by holding in-person auditions, and having video as kind of like an option for those who can't make it. But nowadays, we're really getting more involved with video auditions. All you got to do is just give a monologue of your own choice and kind of choose from the character list we have on the website. And you've got a pretty good shot just by doing that. And that way we can choose from anybody, anywhere. We're not rich, but we can have more options nowadays to fly people down. I mean,
Sure.
We worked with Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist in Death with Dignity. We flew her up from Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with her.
Yeah. I think you said this, but is Limbo your favorite film that you did? Or do you have I mean, it's probably hard to pick, but do you have a favorite short, a favorite film, or favorite project that you've worked on and put out?
Yeah, it's difficult to choose,
Right.
but just because of how close to home it is and how beautiful of a story it is, I would probably pick Trial by Fire.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
That
makes sense.
It's not just for those who were in the military or anything like that. I think it's definitely a message anybody could, take for themselves.
Sure. Do you have people that send you like screenplays, like, I would love for you to do my movie?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how we got started on Mayhem, is just, a local guy reaching out to us. And now we've discovered that he can build some pretty cool stuff. So he built a whole chariot for us for a future short film we'll be releasing soon. So it's just like, it's that kind of talent, here locally, you just don't know about it.
Right.
I mean, it was from a novel, but we kind of took baby steps and worked on a screenplay and kind of fleshed that out.
We asked this question to everyone, but if you had a dinner party and you can invite 3 people, dead or alive, who would you have?
I mentioned him before, but Sylvester Stallone.
Sure.
I think it would be really cool just to pick his brain. Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay.
Oh, good choice.
Rough Riders.
Because, I mean, that guy is just resilient.
All right.
I mean, he went through so much in his life, only just to have an amazing attitude and do really great things. And the hardships I've been through in my life, it's definitely something to look up to for me. The third person I would probably have to pick, I mean, just because I'm a very existential thinker, is probably Jesus. Yeah.
That gets picked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah.
It's not like the conversation would be boring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little preachy, but okay.
From all the films, short films, all the projects you've done, has there been just like a wow moment for you? Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, this is what I'm doing. Like,
I think there were a few moments like that in Trial by Fire. I did the majority of the movie. I was acting because I'm the lead in that movie, but this isn't just a passion. You're really bringing something special out there that can help people. That's kind of what that wow moment was for me. There's a very specific scene in that movie that is a very emotionally driven scene. I mean, it's like the climax of the film, essentially. And me and my scene partner acted that out. And it was very explosive. It was very emotional. And then we walk out the room and we just hugged each other. We're like, this is going to be beautiful. I kind of aspire to make those moments happen more and more with different projects.
I love that.
Sure. So the projects going forward, do you see yourself doing more drama or what kind of projects do you think you're going to be shooting for?
Well, for the time being, it's a lot of experimental films. We've taken a step back from feature films for a while just to garner some more exposure. We just need some more eyes on us so that these feature films can make a more lasting impression. And I should probably take a marketing course or two.
Yeah.
But a lot of ideas are rolling in, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got, that Roseburg Blast movie that I want to do.
Sure.
There's a project called Hot Autumn that I've been working on, which is a musical.
Wow.
And it's set during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay.
Just because of some stuff going on nowadays, I think it's a good kind of reflection.
Yeah.
Why a musical? I mean, I just want to do a musical.
Yeah.
There's some other projects too, like
Sure.
Pelican Soup is one that is written too, and it's kind of like a love letter to Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Nice.
Kind of like
Okay.
this grindhouse kind of all over the place, action packed, but also drama. And then there's projects for like 10 years from now that I'm working on, TV shows, that cinematic universe I was talking about. A lot of passion projects for the future for sure. But right now, it's just a lot of experimental short films to get out there to really catch people's eye, just get some more eyes on us.
And again, if you want to check anything out from Spiderking Studio, it's spiderkingstudio.com. Tons of information on there, how to support the studio, information on the studio, blog, auditions, everything from short films, what's in the theater. You can buy DVDs. There's social media links on there as well, too. So,
is this how you prefer people get a hold of you? Is through the website, or
you can shoot us an email through our website, give us a call. You can also message us on social media too.
So you answer one of our questions. Usually we ask everyone like two questions, what's your favorite movie? Do you have any other favorite movies besides Rocky?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino's work.
Yeah.
I really like The Revenant.
Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Thank you. Guy Pearce. Yes. Great film. Very unappreciated film. Oh, wait. We're not. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You're talking about the one with
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. Ravenous with Guy Pearce. I get those two mixed up. Ravenous was such a great movie. And okay, never mind.
No, but there's a lot of good movies that have inspired me. I mean, I know it's not a movie, but The Walking Dead.
Oh, gosh.
It
might as well be a movie every stinking week. So,
Breaking Bad.
Sure.
And like We Were Soldiers. Really good movie. I'm a big historical war movie person.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. But
you ever seen Bridge Over the River Kwai?
I haven't.
Oh man, that's a good movie. That's a good historical military movie right there for you. It's a good one. And then favorite sandwich. This is always a stumper.
I would say I'm a meatball marinara kind of guy.
Oh, love me some meatball marinara, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you do a little Parmesan cheese on top, a little provolone on top.
Provolone.
Oh my gosh, now we're talking.
Yep.
Do you go fork and knife, or you just go into it? I'm just gonna eat it. Yes,
manhandle it.
God dang it!
So
hate asking that question right around now because I get hungry.
Right, I know. We'll go with lunch right after this. Okay, we got to ask any paranormal experiences.
So that's interesting. I don't think we've had any specific paranormal experiences that come to my mind. However, we have an ongoing paranormal thing that happens. Okay, so when I first ordered our current camera, which is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K.
Well, Blackmagic. I mean, you're
and I was asking.
You brought this down yourself.
Brand new camera. Yeah. I ordered it first day having it. Me and my buddy are watching TV, and we just hear this like ba-ding, like sound coming from the other room. And this was back when I had a studio, like a small studio space, and I was also living up in Rice Hill. We walked out there, and the camera was on, and it had taken video on its own.
What the?
And it was freaky. Left it alone. I was like, maybe just it glitched somehow.
Right.
But since that day, it just randomly operates on its own.
Like, does it move and it's like taking video?
It has taken video on its own. It goes through the controls on its own, and it's a touchscreen. There is a firmware section on that camera, and it has typed out full sentences on its own. Like, mostly incoherent, but like full words. And
that camera got to go. Man, I'm not messing around with that camera.
It's too expensive.
It's like Paranormal Activity.
That is weird.
This is your next. Yeah, this is a movie. I just watched this camera record it.
I've looked it up. people have had similar instances of the controls kind of operating on their own, but nothing quite like what I've experienced.
Typing out full sentences.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand maybe turning on and off, but the
Yeah.
typing out the full.
And I found out too that camera doesn't even make any noise. So that ba-ding I heard, I don't even know what that was. But
What? It's like a Ouija board.
I love this. I love it.
That is so weird.
no, we call it Deborah. Whenever
Yeah, I mean, why not?
we're like in the middle of a take
You're right.
and it just starts going all over, it still records even while the controls are being messed with, and we're just like, oh, it's just Deborah.
What in the world?
I love that.
And you bought that brand new, like it wasn't used or anything?
Correct. Yeah.
Dude,
Just
that
brand
is
new.
weird.
That's awesome.
All right, that's our show.
Well, shoot.
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
Jake,
that's-
thank you so
no.
much for doing this. This is awesome. I cannot wait to get this episode out there.
Yes.
I want, if it draws any traffic to the awesome stuff that you guys
Yes.
are doing, I think it's worth it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And then I can't read Mark's handwriting, but I think it's July 12th.
my handwriting is terrible.
The movie. Gosh, now I
Killer
Killer
Roommate.
have so much
Killer
going through my
Roommate.
head right now. Killer Roommate will be in Roseburg Theater, right? July 12th.
Yes, that is the plan. And if anything else changes, you
Yes.
can always see that information on our website.
Perfect.
But the plan is Friday, July 12th around 6 p.m. and then Friday, July 19th down at the Grand Victorian in Myrtle Creek.
Oh, cool.
And we are trying to get something in for July 13th as well. We were going to work with Radio Days Museum and Theater down in Sutherland, but
Mhm.
they're dealing with some hardships right now. So if there's any way that they can get some support, then that would help them, obviously, but also some other creative people who want to work with them, like us. So
Sure.
thank you guys for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. And again, SpiderKingStudios.com, social media, they're everywhere. YouTube, please check them out because, I mean, they're going to keep pumping out amazing content. And for our own content, check us out anywhere you get your podcast. Mark Pritzon on YouTube, our website, OregonFilesPodcast.com. And happy 4th to everyone.